in April, we then engaged the circuit managers for the first time. And I must say that that engagement was quite pivotal for the implementation of the program, because as was already cited earlier on, we struggled in 2024 with the districts where we were piloting, seeing that our principals mainly they were not taking on the EGRI program. And it was the key lesson that we had to take forward to them, saying circuit managers were important in this process, and we brought them on board. And that is why when the orientation sessions commenced in April, during the period of April and May, we are also then noticing in other districts where our principal was still doing this thing of delegating and sending on DHs or deputy principals when they got to the venue. And because the second manager was at that venue, the second manager befuna iliste gola zipi gola zam ubu principal, and then do exactly the same thing as Baba went because you're supposed to be here. So that is why we had these orientations, and the attendance E-rater corner was quite impressive, because we saw many principals coming to attend. And then in May, post the orientation, we pulled out the progression stats, which is the data. We pulled out for the SMTs and focused mainly on principals, because we wanted to see how principals are doing with their self-study online. And then we also shared the same stats by focusing on the teachers during the month of June, because we're also looking at the time frame that we had allowed for them to go and do self-study. And because we used data to make certain decisions, we realized that there were gaps that needed to be narrowed. And we called a virtual meeting for the EGRI district coordinators from all the 12 districts, where we were discussing about the challenges that were cited as a result of interrogating the online progression state. And in that meeting, plans were also formulated in terms of how do we then go back to the districts and address the gaps as cited in that meeting. And then in July, we had a post-orientation session where we were reflecting on the process and then also starting the conversations around scaling. And that is why today we are meeting, and we also want to further thresh out the conversations and maybe come to certain decisions when it comes to scaling. And then during the month of September, I should say during the month of September, October, because this is the session we are in today, where we are reflecting with the districts on the journey of EGRI. We are also looking at how we can celebrate those that were part of the 2025 learning trajectory. And we also want to conclude our conversations around the scaling. And we also want, whether it happens during the month of October here in uMgungundlovu or it happens after the examinations, we know the districts are quite busy, but we also need to have celebration sessions where we are congratulating and acknowledge those that really did well in 2025 in terms of EGRI. And then being said, colleagues, this is just me flagging the action plan to say, with the ongoing engagements that we had with the districts, this was the plan that was formulated, and I know you do not have to really go through it because you will really see this. But what I want to highlight about this plan, it wasn't a matter of compliance for uMgungundlovu district. When Mrs. Sandy sent this to me, there were also timelines that were attached to them, and also outcomes that were spelled out. And I'm glad when we are looking at the stats today, as we were clapping our hands to say there's been so much progress when it comes to principals as well as teachers, it was because this plan, it wasn't just a matter of compliance, it was actioned. And I think Zanele Sibisi-Shabalala as a coordinator for the process.